Hello, folks. How we doing? This says I'm live. This isn't showing. There it goes. Probably ought to not even pay attention to that. Hello and welcome. How we doing, folks? There we go. We got Small Water Charters is in the house. We got Tom Celtic and Everything Outdoors is in the house on a Wednesday night. Last day of March. We got April Fool's is tomorrow, right? Zachary Fullen, welcome in. Thanks for stopping in. Talking turkey tonight. Tom turkeys. You guys are into hunting the turkeys. It's not something I've done a whole lot of. I'd probably label myself beginner status. I'm gonna bring some experts into the conversation tonight for sure. A buddy that really kind of introduced me and taught me turkey hunting. I'm hoping he'll be able to join later. He said he may. I don't know. He might not show up till later, but might be able to get him on. I think I'm gonna get Matt from Daddy Duck on. He's hunted some turkeys before. He may have some good tips for us. I do have. While we're waiting for some more folks to join in, I do have a few tips that I can share from what experience I do have. Oh wow, Small Water Charters has bagged 20 plus turkeys. That's fantastic. That's a lot more than me. That is a lot. You know what I've done is I've messed up about that many turkey hunts. I can sure mess it up. I promise you, I can sure mess it up. I've fouled up more turkey hunts than anything else. I've butchered a couple of deer hunts, but I'm usually pretty good that if an opportunity comes along, I take advantage and I make the shot. But on turkeys, boy, I tell you what, I've loused that up a bunch. I sure have. But you know, you learn from that, right? Or I do. That's part of it, right? Yeah, having access to some primo habitat that's got a bunch of birds is tremendous, and I've not had a lot of that. My best friend had a farm down in Kentucky. Is only 150 acres, and that's enough to hunt. And we'd go down there and hunt, and that's probably where I had my more memorable hunts. But the funny thing is, I never got a bird down there. That's where I messed it all up. I was trying to learn and cut my teeth and that sort of thing. I did the only bird I've ever harvested was a jake on public land here in Ohio. So I'll get into that. I'll share that story. But again, let a few more people roll in and see what we end up with here. Talking turkey hunting. Boy, you've got them with a bow, a crossbow, and a shotgun. And the Thompson Center Contender pistol. Wow. That's pretty impressive. I've seen a lot of bow hunts for turkeys, and that's it always looks really cool. But man, it's dark in here. I normally do this in my kitchen where I got a lot more lights, but I'm fighting a cold, so I am kind of hoping that my voice holds out. So if that picture is not super clear, I apologize for that, but that's probably about the best I can do. Hey, M and K, Mike, how's it going? Welcome in. Good to see you, bud. Good to see you. You've been catching some stripers, haven't you, man? That's some good stuff. Some pretty good action, I'd say. I'd love to get into some of that. Talking turkeys and traded deer and turkey hunts for bass fishing. Yeah, that's cool. That's definitely a good way to do it. That's definitely a good way to do it. So I'm gonna get into. I don't have a lot. Like I said, I imagine we'll have some other folks come along, and they may be able to share some more insights, some additional insights. They might soundboard off of some of the things that I've shared. I'm not sure, but I get into my tips, and I only have 3 simple tips when it comes to turkey hunting. Okay. The first one is pretty well. I take that back. I've got a bonus tip, and I'm going to save the bonus tip for the very end. For the very end, so you got to stick around for that. The first tip is safety first, and that sounds obvious, but you know, safety is about preventing the most ridiculous fluke thing, right? You guys think it'll never happen to me, but that and Murphy's law. So safety isn't just about, well, I had my safety on for my gun. Yeah, but then when you climb the fence and you slipped and your safety come off and you know your gun goes off, things like that. That's the one in a million scenario you think could never happen, and then it happens. Or if you're a smoker, maybe you had the Marlboros hanging out of your chest, and there's no way a guy's going to get within gun range without you seeing it. But if there's terrain features, whatever, you're calling, you're calling, you're sounding like a wild bird, and there you never know what kind of knuckleheads are in the woods trying to sneak in on you. Safety first, always, and take that to the 10th degree, man, because we don't want to see anybody get hurt, and we don't want to see anybody get shot. We don't want to see any misfires or accidents with guns. When you go into the turkey woods, safety first to the 10th degree. You got to be real focused on that. And then Small Water Charter says call less and purr a lot. There's probably a way to. Yeah, there. Looky here, I clicked a button and I figured something out. Call less and listen more and purr a lot. Yeah, that's really, really good tip. Small Water. That is definitely a good tip. That kind of segues into my second tip, and that is master the easy calls first. I do have a couple here. I just put my youngest to bed. Now I'm going to make a bunch of turkey noises, and he's going to be like, what the hell? That's just a simple pot call with the slate, and then a plastic striker. It's real easy to sound like a turkey with that. And then I've got they call that Slatex, again, a pot call. These are my favorite. I just feel like it's real easy to mimic the yelps and the cutting, and then the purrs that you talked about. Anyway, that's enough of me making a bunch of noise on here. And I have a box call. It's hiding around here somewhere. I can't figure out where it went. That's another one that I think is pretty easy to master once you get the rhythm of that. And then, of course, mouse calls. Yeah, Tom, I'm going to share the story, the one that I got. I think it is a pretty good story, pretty worthwhile story. Hey, Matt, welcome in. Don't rush. I don't want you choking on your dinner there. No big rush. Yeah, with Tom, I can definitely relate to how the hunt can go pretty quick sometimes, especially if it goes kind of like how you're expecting, how you're hoping. But easy calls, those those slate calls are real easy to master, and then the box calls are pretty easy once you get that rhythm down. And then lastly, I think they're a little bit more difficult to get the tone right. It's on the mouth calls, and I think mouth calls can really shine for sealing the deal. Like if you just that's when you're on the gun and you're ready to shoot, and you're just going to give out some soft purrs. You know, I basically would probably just master the purr with a mouth call, and then you're just getting on the gun and you're just trying to seal the deal, get that bird to shooting range, and then you can close the deal on them. I will take a moment to mention some calls that have not treated me very well. One is the cutting. I always feel like I know there's people use the cutting call, the actual calls that the turkey makes, not a type of turkey call, to distinguish there. I know people have had success. They use that cutting call to mimic a hen sounding excited about a tom, or excited that she's ready. And I always feel like when I'm cutting, I'm sounding the alarm like there's danger, get the hell out of here. So I think that's a tougher one to master. I certainly have not mastered it. Yelps and purrs, I think, are where it's at. Clucks, random clucks, I'll throw those in. I feel like toms respond to yelping really, really well when they're on roost. And then when they're off roost, that's when you got to get a little bit creative. And it might be a good idea to try to sound like 2 or 3 hens. Maybe you have your box call, your slate call. One's acrylic or one's, actual slate. You sound like 2 or 3 different hens. And then you're looking to influence that tom to do what he doesn't want to do, So there's nuances to it, right? It isn't just as simple as going into the woods, sitting under a big oak tree and yelping. If it was that easy, everybody fill their turkey tags every spring. It's not easy. I find they're a pretty tough critter to hunt. Of course, my most frequent encounters with them are down there in Kentucky. When I've hunted them up here in Ohio, it's been on public land, and that can be really, really, really challenging, especially when you're in an area where there's not a lot of turkeys. Our population here in central Ohio is really, really sparse. So when you come upon an area that's got turkeys, a bunch of other guys likely know it too. So, and then, I kind of segued into my third tip there. It was that the mouth call can seal the deal, and I'm mostly focused on the purrs when I'm on the mouth call, because, like I said, you're just looking to get them in the shooting range with that. You don't have to be real loud with it. You've already used your other calls usually to get them close to gun range, right? So you just need them another 10 yards or whatever. So you're not getting real loud with that. You're kind of softening it up, trying to sound a little bit further away, get him to come 10, 20 yards closer, looking, where you can get a shot. Okay. So those are my tips. I'm going to share the tale of the one bird that I got. It was a jake here in Ohio. And it was, like I said, it was on public land. I had scouted this area and I'd hunted it twice, and the birds had skirted me, and I scouted out a new area to set up in, to where I was going to be able to ambush them. I'd gotten a good idea of how those birds were coming through there when they came off the roost. And so I was going to get in real early and have my perfect ambush spot, and I was going to be right there waiting on them. That was the plan, right? But as we all know, the best laid plans never go as we hope that they will. Okay. So on this morning, up at the crack of dawn, get ready, and I jump in my truck and I go flying down the interstate. The place where I was going to set up hunting is about a half hour away, and I had, I don't know, maybe an hour until first light. And as I'm driving, I noticed I didn't have any gas. I was on empty. Like I was on empty. I was probably gonna run out of gas. Um, Either when I got there or right after I tried to leave. So I was like, well, this is a problem. If I don't have any gas, this could be a real problem. I don't want to run out of gas. So I'm thinking, not a big deal, right? Roosted is not roasted. It's not a big deal. I'll stop at the gas station. I've got plenty of time. I can fill it up and I'll still get in there and I'll still be early and be able to get set up. It won't be a problem, right? So I reach for my wallet to confirm that I can pay for gas before I go into the gas station. I don't have my wallet. I forgot it. So now the wheels are turning, right? I'm thinking, well, I could go down there and get set up, and I could call my wife before I leave the truck and tell her, hey, you got to meet me at such and such time to bring me my wallet, right? So it's not a big deal. I got this worked out, right? I have an answer to the problem. I'll just give her a call. So now I'm reaching around. Where's my cell phone? What? I forgot my cell phone. Ah, son of a bit. Now I got no wallet, I got no cell phone, and I'm running out of gas, and I'm driving down the interstate, and I think, you know what? This is not going to be good. That I'm going to end up stranded or something. So I ended up doing a U-turn on the interstate. So I'm flying up I-71 north to get back to home, and I go flying in my house, just scrambling and grab the wallet, grab my phone, get back in the truck, get back down out on the road. Now I'm doing like 80 mile an hour, right? I got to get there. I'm humping it, right? And of course this is I'm making me worried. Like now I really am going to run out of gas because I'm pushing it and going faster and all those things. So I get to the gas station and this is a pump and go, right? I'm not trying to fill the tank or nothing. I don't have any time for that. I've already lost, 25 minutes doing the circle back to home. So I pump like $3 worth of gas, boom, gone, right? Paid and everything. I'm gonna get arrested or anything like that. And I go flying down the road and I get into my spot and now it's light out, right? It's light out. And I'm hoping and praying these birds have not flown down. I'm just hoping and praying, right? So I get out of the truck and I hear them gobble. And they hadn't been gobbling when they got off roost. So I know they're still on roost. Now I just got to get there, right? So I grab my gun, I grab my vest, and away I go. I'm blazing across this field to get over this edge of this woods. I got about 350 yards, 400 yards to get to my ambush spot. And so I'm scrambling. I got to get there, right? So now I'm reaching in my vest pockets and all my other pockets, and I'm looking, and I can't find my shells. I cannot find my turkey shells. I'm like, don't tell me I'm blazing across this field and I ain't got I don't have a shell. I found one shell. I found one shell as I was scrambling across the field, popped it in the gun, went sliding down into my ambush spot, and I grabbed a call and I did just a couple and I didn't hear nothing. And I was like, sure enough, they're off roost. And they weren't roosted very far away. They were probably only 60, 80 yards away. So hell, they could have even flown down as I was flying across that field trying to find my shell. So I did. Whipped into I'm okay, promise, just fighting the cold. Whipped into that spot, that ambush spot, right? And I'm set up on the way that I expect them to come in because I know pretty good idea where they're roosted. And somehow the lay of the land and the lay downs and the whatever, there was just enough cover that there was like six of them and they skirted me. And I almost had a shot at one, but they did. They skirted me and they got out into the field and they got just out of range. And I'm thinking, son of a gun, what am I going to do now? And so they're slowly making their way across that field, right? I'm thinking I got to do something, and I did a bunch of purrs, and I'm trying to kind of get them to think something's going on over here. And then, like a minute later, over my shoulder, I hear some wild purring going on. And I'm thinking, is there another hunter in here or something? And I look over my shoulder, and here's this hen is purring, and she's just all flailed right on the edge of the field right behind me, like 45 yards away. And the two Jakes that were in this group, they just broke from it and come running across. So they're doing the dance with this hen. And one of them stopped long enough for me to get a shot. It was about a 45-yard shot. And yeah, so it was like 6 minutes after it was light enough to shoot. And my hunt was over. So for all the stress and the excitement of I'm worried I'm not gonna get there in time. I guess I got there just in time. So yeah, that's my tale of the one and only turkey I ever harvested successfully. I don't think it was 7 a.m. The bird was in the bag. So now I had talked to Matt before this, right, Tom? Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, I'd talked to Matt before this, and I'm gonna bring him up on panel, so I'm gonna get to pushing buttons again. And I don't know. I will probably. Let's hope I don't jack this up, but pushing buttons. It's hard to say what could happen here. No, that's not what I want. Chat. There's the invite button. Okay, Matt, I think I got this figured out. We'll see. And I posted that link down in the chat. You want to jump on there, Matt? Okay. There he is.
What's up?
Hey, I think I did it successfully. 2 thumbs up.
You did it.
Cool.
Oh man, what an experience I just had. All right, so before we get started, I gotta complain.
Oh boy.
If these fast food restaurants, if they want $15 an hour, they better damn well start putting the right orders in the bags. I didn't get anything that I ordered.
Oh
The
my
only
God.
thing that I got that I ordered was 2 sweet teas. That was it.
Oh geez.
I'm not diming anybody out or anything. I'm just saying.
Well, and I don't know about where you're at, Matt, but fast food doesn't seem like it's very fast anymore. I've spent 10 or 15 minutes in a drive-through on either McDonald's or Wendy's or Burger King or about any of them anymore.
Yeah.
They're and now Ghost Wolf, thanks for coming in. Welcome. We're talking turkey tips and tales. Anybody's got a story they want to share? I just shared the story of my only bird that I've harvested, and it was an adventure up in the morning. It was kind of all of about 35, 40 minutes of fury.
My first turkey. I guess I was about 8 or 9.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I was about 8 or 9 years. Oh, you were mouthing something
Celtic. He had said Jimmy John's, and he's absolutely correct. That's the one place there could be a line of 6 people, and I'm going to be out of there in about 4 minutes. They are fast.
I was about 8 or 9
you
years
were young.
old. And we weren't even turkey hunting. The turkey season wasn't even in.
Wow.
But statute of limitations way out, so I ain't got to worry about it. But we were actually quail hunting, bird hunting.
Okay.
And we, at that point in time in my area, to see a turkey, to even hear of someone shooting a turkey, they would have been a hero because we just didn't have that many.
Right.
And bird dogs got on point, and as we were walking up to the bird dogs, well, Miss Colette Fry.
Yeah, welcome in, Colette. Good to see you.
But she, the bird dogs pointed, and as we were walking up, the older guys I was with pushed me in front and said, "Take the covey rise."
Right.
And I looked at the dog, and the dog kind of cocked his head, ears popped up, kind of, he's like, I think I messed up. And usually when dogs do that, they point at a snake or a terrapin or something silly. But I walked up on that behind that dog, and it was a hen. Of course, I didn't know it. I didn't know what it was, but that thing came up off the ground. The bird dog actually pointed it, and it jumped out of the ground. I shot instinctively. It was just boom. I mean, it was an instinctive shot. I have no idea what I was shooting at. Again, I was 8 or 9 years old at the time, but I rolled it. I dusted that bird. I mean, number eight, low brass, quail load, and I dusted it.
Upland bird load, yeah.
And and everybody looked at me and went, "Oh, you in trouble, son?" And I mean, oh man, I had to go sit in the truck for the rest of the day. They wouldn't let me hunt. They took my gun, put it in another truck, because this was long way
before the doghouse.
Those old men, they razzed me for a lot because I just shot the only turkey in my county, and it happened to be a hen.
Right.
That's what they were telling me, but it stirred something in me. Now, again, duck hunting's always been my thing.
Right.
But turkey hunting has been my second passion for many, 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 many years. Let's see. Hang on, I got to reach up here and get something.
Sure.
If I can.
It's funny. The other night on your live, Monday night, you mentioned shooting number 5s.
Yeah.
And I was looking at my shelves tonight. They're number 5s.
Yeah.
They're 3-inch number 5s.
Well, I explain to people like this. When I grew up duck hunting, we could shoot lead shot. Mm-hmm. And the 2 3/4 inch number 5 Baby Magnum Winchester Western Super X was the shell of choice. It's basic. It's basically the same thing as the turkey load.
Right.
And when they stepped up to 3-inch shells, and you could get 3-inch and number 5s. They kill ducks. Well, if it kill a duck, it kill a turkey because
Oh, yeah,
you're shooting at the head anyway,
right.
and
Absolutely.
you're not shooting the body, you're shooting the head. By the way, anybody listen, never, ever, ever shoot a turkey in the body. You will not kill it. All you're gonna do is wound it, piss it off, and it'll fly away. So you're making a headshot anyway, and if you're conservation minded, your shots are going to be within 35 yards or less.
Right.
And it'll kill it. I have no doubt in my mind that I mean I could do a lot of things with a number 5 shotgun shell. Close enough. A lot of things could happen.
Definitely. Oh, I can post those up there. Right? Does that help you out?
Yeah. I just had to bring my glass. I got these bifocals. I had to go, kind of get in between them.
Yeah, I went to the eye doctor a week ago, and I got some specs coming in next week.
Well, I've been wearing contacts here lately, but and usually in the afternoons I take them out and put my glasses on when I get home because I've had them in all day.
Right.
Excuse me, this is my only vice. Sorry.
Do your thing. It's all good.
But yeah, that was my first turkey. I've killed. I'm not going to sit here and say that I have tagged out every year. I just don't.
Right.
I don't even think this year, the way things are looking right now, I don't think I will tag. I got 3 tags. I don't even know if I will be able to pull 1 tag in South Carolina this year because of my work schedule.
And one's mostly flooded, so that's
mostly flooded, and my work schedule. I mean, as of right now, I have 6 days off. I have 6 days off in the month of April, and then I go to Kentucky to hunt for a week. And by the time I get back, pretty much, I'm not saying it's over with, but it's going to be over.
It's about opportunity, if you don't get the opportunities, then you can't fill the tag.
That's right.
That's been a big part of my learning curve was I would go down to Kentucky and we would have usually an extended weekend. We never even took a whole week. We would take 3 or 4 days and then maybe skip a week and take another 3 or 4 days. So, I would get an opportunity and then leave and come back 2 weeks later. I might get an opportunity. I might not, It's neat to go down there because we were always interacting with the birds, right? We would, you're getting them to react to you on the roost. They might get hung up. They might be on another property, whatever. But we always had birds that we were able to interact with. So that's was kind of the draw that made it nice. Plus, it was private property, and we knew we weren't likely to encounter another person, at least not on his farm. Well, that was part of it that was nice too. But man, here in Ohio, I mentioned earlier that in Central Ohio, our bird population is really sparse. It's probably even more sparse on public land. So if you have toms on public land in Central Ohio, how many guys do you think are hunting them?
Oh, how many guys already know about it?
Exactly. And that's no good. When you're turkey hunting, you're trying to you're trying to influence that tom to do what he's really not. Nature doesn't intend. The hens are supposed to follow him around.
Exactly.
10 different guys doing the same thing. It's a cluster. It's an immediate clusterfuck.
And we got some.
I'm not supposed to say that, am I? To get in trouble down the road.
We got some good public areas that hold turkeys, especially on the public areas, and then you have private areas that are around it. and it holds a lot. That area will hold a lot of turkeys.
Right.
But what happens is get so many people inside that public area that it pushes those birds out into that private area, and they're like, well, I can't understand why I'm not tagging out. Even one tag out of 3.
Pressure. It's pressure. Absolutely. Tina Ladybug, thanks for coming in. Great to see you here. Hope you're having a great evening.
But if I may, I'm gonna show the people watching. There are 2 books in the turkey world that I consider the turkey Bible.
Okay.
And if you ever get a chance, if you can find a copy, I don't know how well you can see that. It's called Education of a Turkey Hunter. This book was written in 74, I believe, maybe. Yeah, in 1974. And this is a great book. And for guys that are getting into turkey hunting, don't know much, a lot about it, this will help you. There's stories, and it's basically just short stories. But this one, and as you can see, it is getting worn out.
Right.
But it's called the 10th Legion. And this is by Tom Kelly.
I've heard that for sure.
He is world renowned in the turkey world. This was written in 73, I think.
That's when I was born. Book is as old as I am.
Well, I was about 8, 7 or 8.
Oh, we got Matt doing math over there.
Oh yeah, it's that stuff.
Life Voyages, welcome. Good to have you here. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in.
2 great books. If people are I don't know how many people are in here that have thought about turkey hunting this year for the first time or thinking about it. Pick up those 2 books and read them. And I got it. I know it's digital. Everybody's digital now. They don't know what a book is. Has very little pictures, but it does have some drawings.
I don't need pictures. I just need the information, the 411.
They're good books.
Like you said about the one book, it's stories, and I'm sure in a lot of those stories, there's good lessons,
Yep. Very good. Oh, I ate too fast. Ooh. I'm getting all my turkey, there's 2 box calls. Here's 3.
Nice.
I'm getting everything together so somebody has something, I can grab something.
Do you have a favorite?
My favorite call is a slate call. That is my favorite. This is my slate call. It's rectangular and it's hollowed on the inside. That's my scratch pad where I keep my scratch pad.
Right.
And it's slate and it's all on a lanyard. I put it around my neck, just dangles right there. And
that definitely sounds good.
You talking about the purr?
All right, now you're getting into the cutting.
So, that is my favorite. This is my favorite call.
That's your go-to call.
That is it. Now, I do have mouth calls, diaphragm calls. They're in my turkey vest right now because I've already loaded that up, ready to go. But I mean, that's my finishing calls. Mouth calls are my finishing calls.
Right.
And I will have one, when I sit down, I'll have one already in my mouth off to the side. Right. But I'm hitting that slate until now. If I've got a gobbler that's hinned up, but he's close, I'll run both. And I'll sound like two hens fighting.
You want to sound like multiple birds, sure.
Right.
You got to increase that enticement. He might not leave what he's got for one, but if there's two or three and they're fired up, he might say, "Well, there's some action to be had over there."
My favorite hunt happened about 4 years ago. It took maybe from the time we got out of the truck to the time I shot the bird, maybe 30 minutes. But it was the most intense 30 minutes. When I shot that bird, I was so worn out that I just laid down. I didn't even go to the bird. I just put my gun down and laid down. I was that worn out. Wow. That's how intense it was.
Wow.
But I was, like you were saying earlier, I was in a rush and I left my slate call on the truck seat. And I ran out, staked the decoy down, threw my back up against a tree. And as soon as I did, he was gobbling on the tree limb.
Right.
And I was so close I could hear him fly down.
Right.
And I was in some pretty good woods, hardwood. Every now and then I'd see their heads bobbing, and he was just gobbling, but he must have had 7 or 8 hens with him. And I got angry, like Small Waters just now posted. I got angry with the hens. Every time the hens would yelp, I would yelp over them. And the reason I killed that bird is the hens got mad. The boss hen got mad and came running in and started beating my turkey decoy up. I had a hen decoy, and she started beating.
They brought the time.
And it brought him in, and when he got within, I don't know, maybe 10 feet, I nailed him. When he got 10 feet, I nailed him. And like I said, I just laid down. I wanted to take a nap. I was tired. I was tired. He was gobbling his fool head off.
That's good though that you caught on that he had his birds and he wasn't going nowhere. So you had to kind of think outside calling the hens. And
so
I've heard people mention that. I promise you, I've been to some turkey hunting seminars. I've heard people say, you can call the hens in. You're the first person that's ever told me, pick a fight. Pick a fight with them. Calling in the hens, like, I don't know. Maybe you just yelp a little bit, or I have no idea how to call in the hens, but you just kind of shared a lesson and taught me.
Every time she would yelp, when I heard her first note, I would yelp back and just. I wish I had my mouth. I just want to get up and go get them, but I would just
cut her off.
Hammer on these high pitched, drawn out yelps, and you could see. I could see her. She was getting mad, and if you've never seen a hen start to puff up a little bit, because they will, and it was. Think about it like this. Think about you're in a bar, and your woman, your wife, your girlfriend is somebody starts eyeballing you, and your wife or girlfriend gets mad and starts to get over there, and you got two of them just yakking back at each other, and they're gobbling. You're the gobbler, and you're like, get back over here, come get back. He's trying to draw them back, but they kept running toward that hen decoy, and when they did, it just drew him in. And there was two other gobblers with him. There was two others behind him coming in.
Awesome.
And I probably could have shot both of them.
Awesome.
Had I wanted to.
Awesome. Well, we don't have a big crowd. I think Living MN, he usually does 9 o'clock on Wednesdays, but he jumped to 8:30, and I think people were anxious to hear about his big sturgeon.
Yeah, he did a premiere. It's over with.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he did a premiere on it, and yeah, it was over with.
Oh, okay. Well, did you have any other tips or tales to share? A most memorable bird? Well, that was probably one you.
Nope, that 4 years ago. 4 years ago that was the bird that and he wasn't a big bird, but it was just the whole sequence, everything that came together to shoot that bird. You saw the video I did. I took a walk in the turkey woods.
Right.
Okay, so that block of woods is only about 30 acres. Gotcha. And that's all I have. That's 30 acres.
Right.
Now, if you watch the video, I mentioned that the turkeys don't usually roost in this area, in these woods. They roost a little bit on the other side of one of the fields where there's a little swamp.
Mm-hmm.
They don't gobble. These birds do not gobble. They don't tree gobble. They don't gobble off the tree. Wow. They don't make a noise. The hens don't even make a noise.
Wow.
And I've killed 4 or 5 birds on that tract of property, and I've never shot one that was gobbling, and I've never shot one that was puffed up. They come in silent, and that's just your area.
It's just an ambush.
It's an ambush, and what I try to do there is I'll set up and I will stake a decoy out. And I've tried every decoy, every one of them. I've tried nothing but I tried a boss gobbler once, decoy.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried a Jake decoy. I've tried that little funky chicken thing that they got out.
Right.
I've tried a hen. I've tried 2 hens. I put a hen close to the ground, like she's getting ready. She's ready to breed, so she'll squat low to the ground. I've done that in that area, and what I found is one decoy or no decoys, and I will yelp maybe 3 yelps. Just yoop, 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 yoop. And I will just do that.
A real speaking call.
And I will put the call up for an hour.
Right.
And I won't touch it again. Funky chicken thing. Yeah, it's called the funky chicken, I believe is what it's called. It looks like it's a Jake decoy, but the body on it is about that big around, and it sits real tall. And he looks like he needs his butt whipped. And the gobbler, they say that the gobblers can't stand it, and they'll come run up there and just beat him up just for the heck of it. So now don't get me wrong. I've shot birds over a full strutting decoy. I've shot them over the funky chicken. I'm just talking about this little piece of property that I was on.
Right.
And so there's your tip. Just because you don't hear them gobbling does not mean they're not there. Look
Right.
for your signs. Go out
Right.
there and look for your sign. Look for turkey tracks. Look at
Scratchings.
that. Look at that cashew shaped turkey poop.
Right.
Because it looks like a little cashew, about the thumb, like that part of your thumb.
Right.
Yeah, that part of your thumb looks like a cashew, and this is what it looks like to me. So look for your sign and know your woods.
Definitely.
Have good
Scouting
woodsmanship.
is a big part of it for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. See, I know there's birds in that area. I
Right.
know there is. Um,
Right.
the the advantage that I have there, and reason I haven't hunted it yet, even though our season is open, is the property owner deer hunts, and he has trail cameras all over that property, and
Right.
he's got it on the wireless thing, so it sends pictures to his phone, and
Gotcha.
he has not seen a turkey yet come
Gotcha.
through. So I mean, so that's the only reason why I'm not hunting it,
Right.
because we have nobody's seen anything.
Right. But eventually you might have pressure, neighboring
If
or whatever that
neighboring properties that pressure,
can
they'll
change.
start to
Right.
move in where it's not pressured.
Exactly.
Um, Pattern your shotgun.
Absolutely.
Know what your gun is going to do, and know your limitations. I hate to sound like Clint Eastwood, but a man has to know his limitations. And
Absolutely.
I don't like shooting things far away, so I want it as close as I can. So when I pattern my gun, I pattern it out to 35 and then inward. Because I want to see what that pattern does at that point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think,
Um,
like you said, each individual gun is its own fingerprint type of deal.
right.
Where, if your buddy has an 870 Express, it doesn't mean that the shell that shoots perfect in that one is going to shoot perfect in yours.
Or the choke tube, or the manufacturer of the tube.
Right. Right.
I will say this: guns, as far as the turkey hunting, guns, choke tubes, and ammo is a lot like trucks. I'm going to pick the one I like. I drive a Chevrolet Z71 Silverado.
Yeah.
Is Dodge a bad truck? No. Is Ford a bad truck? No. Is Tacoma, Toyota, or Nissan? No. They're all good trucks.
Right.
But what do I like?
Right.
And so, and the same thing with choke tube. Most of your choke tubes are they're all the same diameter, generally speaking. There
Right.
may be a couple of them that are different variants, but for general purposes, they're all the same. They just got someone else got their name on it.
Right.
There's nothing bad with Carlsons or Kicks or Primos or any of them.
Right.
I'm just naming a few. As far as shells go, turkey load's a turkey load. But
Right.
when you go to combine everything, you need to know what's doing what. That's why I keep saying pattern your gun with the tube that you purchase and the shell that you purchase.
Exactly.
Because you may need to switch up something, eventually. And how well can you shoot?
Right.
Is your platform, what I mean by your platform, the way you're sitting, I don't shoot off a bench unless I'm shooting a rifle. With a shotgun, I shoot freehand because I want it to be as most realistic as possible.
Right. Exactly.
So I'm going to sit on a tree. I'm going to put my back on that tree. I'm going to get my elbow on my knee, much as my belly will allow. And So and I'm going to do it, and you can see the gun waving a little bit. It's going to do it, and get that figure 8 going, and then boom, um, to see what's going on. So I mean, those are my main tips.
Right.
And stay still and quiet, and stay as long as you can, because you just don't know. I've killed turkeys. They'll hit the ground, they'll go with their hands, and I may move a little bit, maybe move 50 more yards or 75 yards or whatever, sit back down. But a lot of times, once they're done with the hens, which is about mid-morning, so about 10:30 mid-morning, they're done with those hens. They've got all the goodie they're going to get out of it, and they're going to start looking for more. And so stay late. Just stick with it as long as you can.
Right. I'll share one other tale. My very first time turkey hunting was with my buddy Scott down in Kentucky on his farm, and since I was brand new to it, he was doing the calling, so we were set up right beside each other, and I'm on the gun, and we had birds on the roost right above us. We were halfway up a holler, and there's hemlocks everywhere, and so we had a small opening in front of us, probably out to about 40 yards. And we expected them to come right down the holler in this open, and they never did. We never saw them. We heard them like crazy on roost. They weren't very far. It was maybe 80 yards. I don't know if we heard them fly down or if we didn't, but we knew they were close. And they even the gobbler even gobbled a couple times on the ground, and we knew they were close. And this action was hot for, I don't know, 30 minutes, right? We had him going. He was gobbling. He was even talking on the ground. We were convinced this was going to happen, right? And everything got quiet. No birds were making any noises. Not the birds that we were working, and not any off in the distance either. Things got quiet, right? So me, this is my first time, right? After 5, 6, 7 minutes of quiet, I'm looking at my buddy going, "What's going on?" He says, "Be patient." I said, "What's going on?" I said, "Birds are gone. We need to go find some other ones." I said, "I don't know." So we're whispering back and forth. He's literally 2 feet away from me. We're whispering back and forth for maybe 30 or 40 seconds. The hemlock's about 50 yards up in front of us. There went like 5 birds, blew out. He's like, "You done fouled that up."
Yep. Yeah, I mean, the best conservation tool for the turkey is the turkey hunter. An impatient turkey hunter.
An impatient one for sure.
Because and I've done it. I mean, I still do it, and I know better. I get tired. And all right, I got to get up. I got to get up and move. My legs start to cramp up. What have you? Stomach starts growling. As soon as you stand up, there they go. They're 5 feet behind you on the other side of the tree where you couldn't see them. I think my quickest turkey hunt was about 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah.
I think I may have mentioned this the other day on my live stream, but we had roosted several big gobblers in this bottom, right up. They were roosting up on the trees over a swamp, and there was a road that went straight into where and it opened up, and into loading dock. You know what I'm talking about? For clearing out trees, a loading dock, an area that they cleared out so they could pull trucks into. Called a loading dock. So it was an open area. It was a loading dock, an old loading dock area, and it was probably maybe 3 acres.
Uh-huh.
It was a pretty big loading dock. And I knew that all we had to do was just walk down the road. And as soon as we get on the edge of that loading dock, just walk in the dark, stake a decoy down, walk back up to the big oak tree, and just sit there and
it's gonna happen.
Wait. It's gonna happen. And it started breaking daylight. Like I said, we had roosted these birds. I knew what tree they were in.
Right.
So I got even a little closer because I knew that I could. Well, during the night, and they will do this, they hopped trees.
Sure.
And they were literally,
so if it's storming,
literally 3 or 4 trees in front of me. Now, I know they saw me. I went in there and I know they saw me. I staked my decoy down, went back to my tree, sat down. My son was with me, and he sat on his tree. And as soon as it started breaking daylight, I gave it just a little tree yelp, a little soft, and I mean, he was right there. And as soon as I shut up, I didn't say another word. And as soon as it got fly down time, he came out, and I mean, it was like a parachute, whack, and
practically in your lap.
He landed right beside the decoy. I mean, it was just whack, and he bowed up. I mean, just as soon as he hit, there was no walking, there was no anything. As soon as he hit, he puffed up, and then he just turned, and when he turned, I had that perfect headshot, and like I said, it was maybe 7, 8 feet, maybe. Yeah.
Turkey can go fast, that's for sure. They can. They
can
be like wham. That's the one bird I got. I don't think I was in the woods 15 minutes. I really don't.
Oh man. Whew. It's been one of them days for me.
We're beyond an hour. I usually try to do these at about an hour. I'm going to get to my channel shout outs and
okay.
My final bonus tip. You've kind of talked about that already, but for the channel shout outs, and there's not a lot of us in here. Most of us have got these folks are in my community, but people may come and watch it from, they're not part of the community, so you never know. But my channel shout outs, I'm going to start out with After 5 Outdoors, Cody. He's a good friend of Matt. He's a good friend of mine. He's got an excellent channel, especially if you like hunting. His turkey hunts are fantastic. You want to talk about up close. I mean, these jokers are birds at about 3 feet, and it's really, really neat to watch him and his turkey hunts. He does all kinds of stuff, ice fishing and bear hunting, and he's got an awesome channel. And I think he's going to link up with you and do a turkey hunt in Kentucky, right?
Right. We're hooking up with the Binknell bunch.
Yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Now, is that in like 3 weeks?
I leave on the 19th of April.
So almost a month out.
Well, it's today's the 31st, so
no, today about 3 weeks. Yeah,
if that, yeah.
All right, and then channel number 2 for my channel shout outs. I'm calling out Tom Celtic and Everything Outdoors. Tom, I consider you a friend. I don't know if you're still in here. I know you were for a long time. He's got a great channel. He's a super guy, great personality, awesome sense of humor. If you get a chance, if you don't have them, you should have Tom Celtic and Everything Outdoors. Channel shout out number 3. You guys have all probably got this guy, but again, any new folks that would come and would watch this, Tubby Guy Outdoors, Wyatt. He's a super guy. He'll bring you hunting and fishing, and definitely a lot of personality. We love Tubby Guy Outdoors. Channel shout out number 4, Your Next Cast. That is Titus, and that is predominantly fishing. He also integrates some really neat life tips. It's kind of like a fishing tip that also applies to life. Super guy, Titus. Check him out. His fishing channel. It's called Your Next Cast. It doesn't relate to having broken a bone or an arm or anything like that. It's about fishing. And then number 5, my number 5 channel shout out. This is someone that's not in the community. He's got just over 1,000 subscribers. It's a relatively small channel, but he's been doing this a long time. It's Indiana Kayak Fishing. And the gentleman's name is also Kyle. So, I mean, I had to shout out another Kyle. He's got a great fishing channel. It's he does a lot of kayak fishing, but it's not just kayak fishing. He catches bass, definitely catches a lot of smallmouth bass in creeks and rivers. That's how I discovered him, because that's like my second favorite thing in the world of fishing. He catches a lot of northern pike. He catches a lot of steelhead, and he's even caught some muskie. So definitely check out Indiana Kayak Fishing. Those are my 5 channel shout outs. If I can get my hand to show up on the stinking camera. And then in the beginning, I teased a bonus tip, and I don't even know if anyone's still here for this, but the bonus tip for turkey hunting. And I think Matt was alluding to this a little bit, but it is persistence. The most successful guys in the turkey woods are persistent. They stay with it. And that's whether it's, if it's your only day off, that they're out there hunting all stinking day. They don't quit at 10 a.m. because the birds aren't really being very vocal. They don't quit at noon. They find that when a time finally got low only at 1:30 and they harvest their bird. Or, maybe they had an extended weekend. They got a couple days off work. They got 4 days to hunt. They're die-hard hunting all 4 days. That's persistence. Persistence will fill a turkey tag. As opposed to impatience, like my very first turkey hunt. I did not have persistence, but if I would have, that was a lesson that I had learned. And my buddy Scott will tell you that I'm stubborn, and I usually have to learn something as opposed to be told. He was trying to tell me to just pipe down and sit tight. It was going to happen, and I didn't believe him. But that's part of the learning process. Persistence. That's my bonus tip, and that's all I got. Matt, you got anything else to share?
No, other than you need to get some rest because you sound like you're about to die.
Just a cough. I'll be fine. And I certainly appreciate you coming on.
Not a problem, brother.
Thanks. Many thanks. I appreciate it tremendously.
Anytime.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
Take care, y'all.